Hey guys, we're going to be talking about projectile motion. So I think the most important part of understanding projectile motion and kinematics in general is understanding the big five equations. And if you're preparing for the AP Physics test like I am, there's the ones that are starred are the ones provided on the exam. And I don't think you really need to focus on the other ones. And also another thing is to remember that without acceleration, this becomes x equals v0 times t, which is really useful when we're solving for the x velocity because most of the time that one doesn't have an acceleration. So let's jump straight into a problem. A projectile is launched from the ground at a 40-degree angle with a velocity of 150 meters per second. Find its maximum height and range. So we can start with the maximum height, which is pretty simple. We know that the initial y velocity is just the y component of the velocity, which is always v sine theta, and in this case, that's 150 sine 40. And we also know that the v final is 0 because if it's the maximum height, that means that there's no more velocity to travel any higher. So out of all our big five equations, the one that fits this the best would be this one because we have all the variables needed here except y, which is what we want to find. So we can start plugging in our values. Okay, and now we can divide to solve for y. And if you plug that into a calculator, I believe it gives you the answer 474.3 meters. So that's the maximum height. And now we want to find the range, which is the distance it travels horizontally. So we can use the equation I said earlier, which is x equals v initial times t. Except the problem right now is that to solve for x, we need t, but we don't have that. So how are we going to find that? Well, we do have part of t. We can find t half, which is because we know that the projectile is going like this, and here is at the very top the maximum height that we solved for. And we can also find the time here because we know that Vf equals 0. So we can use the equation Vy equals V0y plus AT, and so this is 0 equals 150 sine 40 minus 9.8t. So t equals 150 sine 40 over 9.8. And remember that this t is only the t going up, so we can call it t up just to remember that. And this gives us 9.84. So now we can use this back here in this equation. We have x equals the x component, which is 150 cosine 40, and then we have t, but this t is the total t of the whole time, while we only found the time that goes up to this dot. So, but you might notice that this is exactly half of the full time. So we can just do 2 times t up. So that's 150 cosine 40 times 2 times 9.84. And solving for x gives us 58.13 meters. So this is the range and this is the maximum height. Hope that helps you guys, and remember to sleep and study.